What's going on? How we doing? How we feeling? Welcome to the next day for Ableton Metal Ableton Day 2. Why was that so hard to say? I don't know. But welcome. Thank you for joining me today on this second day. And cool thing is I basically didn't listen to this at all until I opened the session to get ready for this stream. And I was like, this isn't bad. You ever have those days where you're like, you spend all night writing and you're like, this is sick, and maybe it's late at night, so you're kind of like, I don't know if cathartic is the right word, but you know, you're feeling that way, but you're just like in the zone and you're writing, and you're like, this is sick, and then the next day you come in and you're just like, oh, this was sick yesterday. What happened? You know, it doesn't happen to me as much anymore, which is good, but I think it's because my decision making in terms of my exploration has gotten a little bit better. You know, I'm trying to fix the things that I don't like right away rather than just kind of like, you know, like the note choices and stuff like that. I think that's the biggest thing, is like your note choices. Because for me, like when I was at the gym today, I was like, was that song actually like good? I don't remember. You know, she's like, oh God. And then again, I opened it up and I was like, okay, this is pretty sick. And I mean, as you could see, that this is what we did yesterday. And if you weren't here yesterday, you can check out the video from yesterday. It's in the live section of my YouTube channel. And I go through everything. Literally, this is a beginner series, and so I'm explaining everything. And so, you know, for the people who are new and trying to get into making metal inside of Ableton, or maybe you're switching DAWs or whatever, this is a good primer, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, I figured we would just kind of jump right in. Ryan, what's going on, dude? He says, we out here. We are definitely out here, dude. Thank you for joining me today, brother. I appreciate you, man. Okay. So we got a little bit of a context check, which is good. And I think that, trying to think if there's anything that we need to fix or update. And actually, I do need to let you know that there is some things that I did off stream in the few minutes that the session was open. And one thing that I did was I added this guy right here. Just right in the beginning. Because before we had, I'm going to mute this here. Before we had, right? So now if I unmute it, gives a little bit more low end. If you're listening in headphones, you'll be able to hear it. Because this thing by itself, like, it's such an evolving pad, which is super cool. It helps the intro to evolve, you know? And then it goes right in. So it's really cool. The other thing that I did was this little guy that we made yesterday. On this section here, all I did was take it an octave up. So I highlighted everything and I went shift up. Now, technically I went shift up twice because I already did that, but just showing you, shift up arrow on your keyboard. And literally, the cool thing about that is how much it adds. I'm going to play it again now that you hear this change and this change, and you're going to be able to notice a difference. Now, keep in mind, this is originally where this was. Then over here, it's, all I did was change it an octave up. That's it. That's it. It's crazy the difference it makes. And it was these like little mini tweaks. So one thing I forgot to mention is this guy here. Which, let me do this so you can hear it. All right. Let's do this so you can hear it by itself. We'll do this and we'll get rid of these for now just so you can hear what it's doing. So it's just adding a little accent. And the cool thing about that is, like, since we already did the scale feature thing here, and we have it on minor, all you have to do is just find the right notes. Now, one guideline that I put on myself is I have a 7-string guitar that the lowest note, the lowest string is G sharp. And so, you know, if you want to try to keep in that sort of guideline, so when you do end up playing it live, you're not like, you know, trying to play this crazy like chord that's like feels impossible. Guitartuningdatabase.org. So gtdb.org. This is awesome. The reason why it's awesome is because right? So you can hear all the notes. Now for me, it's 7-string drop G sharp. Drop G sharp 7-string. So now I know these are my notes. This is the highest I can go, well, in terms of like an open note, because I really like open chords. And I tried to do that with this. However, I didn't pull up this thing yet. I just kind of did it by ear so we can kind of check to see if we are in the ballpark. Which, okay, so this one we may need to... this here. So if we do G sharp here, and then let's just kind of experiment here. F sharp, and then A sharp, and then we have D sharp. Which these might actually be like... So think about it, when you're playing a chord, you want some things to ring out, if you can, right? And so what I'll typically do is I'll... Now, I'm just muting these notes, and the way that I do that is I hit 0 on my number pad to basically deactivate that note. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so that's like a power chord kind of thing. Okay, so this is our octave here. There you go. That one sounds cool. And we're still within our range here. And this is technically... that's like 2 notes, you know what I mean? And then you just pluck the rest there. can even do like a little growl right here. Okay, so power chord, like a... when you open the strings up, you know, you're just kind of doing an open thing there. My little trick here is if you're in your minor scale, G sharp minor, I would go... Let me get rid of this here, and I'm going to turn off monitoring for a second. So here, from here, I'm going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold control again, 1, 2, 3. That is going to be like that open power chord type of thing. So I was just experimenting to see. Ooh, that's nasty. Yo, Drobe? Drobe or Drop? What's going on, dude? He says respect from Ukraine, respect from Denver, Colorado, dude. Thank you for stopping by, homie. How do you distinguish a bass drop and a bomb landing in your backyard? Dude, it depends what kind of headphones you got. You know what I mean? Like these Bose, man. I love the low end on them. They're so clear. The high end, so clear. That's what I love about them. Killer call out. GTDB is underrated. I agree, dude. I think I just stumbled upon it because I was doing a Google search just to see, like, I need to know what the tuning is, because all I know is like, okay, put my guitar in G sharp on the lowest and then just do the 5 thing. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, okay, let me just tighten it up inside of Neural, you know? And so I needed to actually know what the tuning was. And so that's why I pulled that up. But I feel like it's such a killer tool to do those open chords. And so, yeah, good little trick there. Rambo, he says, yo, this is an early stream. It is, dude. I'm trying to hit up the European homies, man. They have been there for me, coming late for me, so I need to come early for them. You know what I mean? So it's been really awesome. I really appreciate you guys for coming by on this early stream. And so now that we have that, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was actually arrangement, because we already have 3 parts and we can start to think about labeling what these parts are. I think this is a good thing to do when you're kind of lost in the sauce and you just keep writing parts and parts and parts. And I would say keep doing that. However, if you have a singer in your band, or, you know, you guys are trying to be a little bit more structured, I would say stop for a second and just think about what these parts could be. You know what I mean? Like, for example, that's like, this is just mainly an intro, you know what I mean? But just because it's an intro doesn't mean we can't use it again. However, let's call it an intro by adding a locator. So the way that you add a locator is if you come up here, there's going to be a solid black line here, if you can see that. If you click right above it on that line, if you right click, I'm sorry, and hit add locator, you're going to see this little flag appear that goes all the way down. You see that? But there's also a 1 here. This is actually editable, an editable text area. So we need to call this intro, right? Technically this is our intro, but I want this part to be our intro. This is just our, like, we can label this. Let's do synth intro, right? And then we can do, we'll right click this one again, rename all in intro, right? Because everything is in. So now this part, this is like, I would call this a verse. Verse. We don't have to put 1, 2, or 3 yet, just because we are kind of like generically naming what these things are. This, I would call this maybe a pre-chorus. So we're going to add locator again, pre-chorus. So now, since we have our parts laid out and we know what they are, then you could start thinking about structure. Now, there's so many different ways to structure a song. However, the easiest way and the most kind of the commonly used ones, at least the one that I use quite often, because it's very digestible for your average listener, is verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Verse, you could do pre-chorus, chorus, or just verse, chorus. And then you do like a bridge, and then maybe 2 choruses, and then an outro if you want, or you can do just a chorus outro. That's pretty much your standard guy there. So now that we have that in mind, we made 1 verse. However, the verse happens, multiple times. The other cool thing too is you can change what the second verse does. You can tweak it, to enhance it if you're trying to make this a progressive type of song. And so since we are just in the arrangement phase, because we got to put that arrangement hat on to start laying these things out. And what you're going to notice when you lay these things out, how many parts you have left to make, which sometimes isn't a lot, Like technically we have 2 parts to make, and maybe an outro if we want to make. So 3 different parts. And so, yeah, think about it that way too. Okay, so here's our verse. And then we got to think, that is our pre-chorus, and then we might have 1. Let's see. This is 35. So we'll have 2, maybe 2 choruses possibly. We'll leave that open. And then we'll go here. This is going to be our next verse. Then what we can do is we can grab our pre-chorus again. Put that there. Then we have another chorus here, which is probably going to be maybe 2 bars again. So it looks like we're a little off, and it could be... That could have been my fault, depending on the parts, possibly. But that's okay. So another easy way we can do this is go like this. So that's going to be our chorus there. 1, 2. And then we'll delete these. We just needed it as like a little bit of a ruler or a guide. So then this part is going to be a bridge, add locator, bridge. Bridge or breakdown or whatever you want it to be, And then again, this part is add locator, chorus 2. Here, we're going to right click, add locator, chorus 1. Then our bridge might be, I don't know. Let's put this in the bridge for now. It might be 2 of these, so we'll put these in here and then we'll just do this. Then we're going to have another chorus here. Chorus 3, or let's do final chorus. And we'll do that twice again. So we are on 99. So we need to go here. And then we'll add 1 here. And we could just put outro for now. Okay, so now this is a full song. You know what I mean? Like from here, this is 3 minutes and 21 seconds, which is very digestible for your average listener. But then you see that we have some blank spaces. However, we write 1 chorus, we fill in 1, 2, 3 places. So we technically need to write 1, 2, 3 parts. You know what I mean? Like, that's not that bad. And a lot of times what I do is like, oh my gosh, I gotta write a chorus. You can use these little synths as guides to keep that inspiration going. Another way, let's say you're just like, oh, I don't even know what I can do, like for a chorus. Then you can start pulling up grooves, which this might take a second to pull up. But there's so many things that you can reach for these days for inspiration or to kickstart the exploration journey, right? Usually you just need something. For me, I need something. It could be as little as, like a little arpeggio or whatever, right? It can be as big as like a full cool sample, with a whole bunch of different layers within that sample. But as long as you have something, then you can start experimenting with notes. And if you're in that scale feature and you're in the right scale and everything, like there's no wrong notes really, Sometimes you want the wrong notes, and so you'll just get out of scale feature and then add them. Again, you need to let your ear kind of guide you, your ear and your intuition. And so that's what makes it fun. But grooves really can take you out like so fast. There should never be like what's the word? Not burnout, but writer's block, right? Because again, you have tools like this to just really take you out. Let's see. Okay, so we are in 130. Let's see what kind of grooves are in 130 here. Okay, it doesn't sound like there's any chorusy things in there, but that's okay. I'm going to go to let's go to 140 and see what's in here. That's not bad. However, the kick's really busy. That's more of like a pre-chorus thing, I think. Let's go to the 125. That's not bad there. So let's keep in mind song 14 groove 1. This would actually be a cool, like maybe this can be our bridge, possibly. Let's put that there. Just to, just to see. Let's do this groove 1. So I'm going to put this in my drum section here. And then we have to do a little bit of cleanup on this. So if you double click here, we need to select all, turn off our input monitoring, which is again that blue headphone. And then we need to bring this up. We need to drag up our velocity section. Click on the highlighted notes. Hold shift, click and hold. And bring everything down to 100. At least from your highest note. Then we're going to grab our snare here by clicking on the snare, which selects everything in there. And we're going to grab the highest note that's highlighted blue. And, oh, looks like I didn't take this to 100. There we go. I'm so used to going to 110. Okay. Snare, I clicked it again. And we're going to go to 106. This is for the P5 kit. So now it should be blended in with this previous section that we created. So very cool. However, one thing that I like to do is add space. Adding space to anticipate, or like add a little bit of what's the word that I'm looking for? Maybe the anticipation, right? Is really cool. Sometimes you want to do it like an eighth note. Sometimes you want to do it like a quarter note, 16th note. For me, I like to go on the adaptive grid and go to narrow. Cool thing about adaptive grid is that when you zoom in, you can see that your grid gets finer and finer. So if you need to do some fine adjustments, as you zoom in, it does it. And then if you come back out, you can see it gets really big, which is nice. And so I think that we should possibly do, let's go in a little bit, and maybe we can do about that much. So let's take a listen again. Just adding a little bit of space for it to breathe is really awesome. Now, what this means is everything is going to get shifted. You can see this one bar here, And so the easiest way that I found to do something like this is to highlight all this stuff here, hit Control L for our loop section. You could see it grabs everything. And then when you click on the outside, it makes it even a brighter blue. So then you can use your left and right arrows to just go one. Now, the thing with that too is I wish that you could do this, but you have to move these individually, which is not a big deal, it's fine. And then we need to go one bar for this one as well. And these may change too, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So now we have this and we can just double it for now, right? To get the bare bones. Now, since we have the drums, we just need to write some guitar parts and bass parts and stuff like that. But the cool thing about having these grooves is technically the groove is made for you even on the bass here. Now, this depends if you want to carry over and follow the kick drum. If you don't, then, you can get creative there. However, the fastest way, again, that you can go about just getting these parts at least started is grabbing the kick drum and then just putting it immediately on the bass or the guitars. I like to do it on the bass because I feel like you can kind of get more of a foundation of what, the root notes are going to sound like, Okay, so I'll show you that again. Click on the bass so we can select them all. Press C. I made a new lane, again, highlighted Control Shift M. And then we have that here, and I just literally went to the beginning and then Control V to paste it. Now, at this point in time, I think my explanation is going to get less and less because there's a lot of things that I've already explained, and I feel like this is a good test for you on your knowledge and how much you've been paying attention. And so, try to just see what you can do, you know what I mean, with how much you've been paying attention. And if you need to go back, then, that video yesterday is still there. Okay, so, okay, why can't we hear it? Gotta turn on headphone monitoring. Again, that's our lowest note. You see these black lines here? This is because when we pasted it in, we pasted it in C. And C is not in our scale. So that's why those are that color. Now I got out of it, but they're still there. In order to get rid of that, you just hit scale again to open it and then close it and then they go away. So just so you know. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make all these notes long. And then at this point, it's just finding a cool starting note, Okay, so we need to find a different root note because we've been hanging on G for a minute. Let's go here instead. Again, don't like hum it out, dude. Like, don't worry about like if you can't sing because you can hear it in your head, you know? Okay, so now we have the fundamental notes here. These are our fundamental notes. Which is sick. Like, okay, we're already close. Okay, I'm not gonna get weird. I hear something here, but I won't do it because it's kind of an advanced technique, kind of. Okay, so we have that done. Now, just to see what it sounds like again, and the cool thing about MIDI guitar is we can just put that there, go into it, select it all, bring it an octave up. Now we have so now we have our fundamental notes there. Now, if we want power chords, we can always do power chords. And again, if you remember, I'm going to turn off our input monitoring. We select them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We can do that here too. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We can do something like, if you go one more, then I call that the Deftones chord. Maybe we do another cool chord here. We can do another Deftones chord, or we can kind of experiment with the open chord stuff. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I feel like it wants something there. Okay, so then let's pull up our database thing here. G sharp, D sharp, G sharp, C sharp, F sharp, A sharp, D sharp. I'm going to bring this off screen just so I can explore here. So we have E, and it looks like F sharp, A sharp. We can do, there's a C sharp in there, so I'm going to put that there for now. It might be an octave higher, possibly, but I'm going to grab these, and we'll go to D sharp here. So let's turn on our input monitoring. It already sounds cool. But you can hear that it sounds like, you know, you're hitting all the strings. At this point, we can deactivate some of these notes. If you remember, if you're paying attention, you should remember how to do this. Listen to that. That's nice. So I'm going to deactivate these. It's 0, by the way. Then we can do 2. Pretty cool. Not bad. If this is, you know, something that you're into, if you prefer to do power chords and stuff like that. We'll leave that for now. Now, cool thing about these little parts in our bridge here is we can grab these and see what they sound like in the chorus. This one might not work. It might work. I think we need to turn it down though. You can hear it's kind of loud. So I'm just going to go into my automation lane and bring that down a little bit. So it sounds like this needs to come down a little bit. Oh, we're on speaker on. We need to change this to track volume. I'm holding shift again. I think this part won't work. So then we need to start, maybe we need to start there. So then we can maybe start on that lowest note because it's G sharp. We just went an octave down. And so I'll just go into our guitars here, select all these. So now we're in that open G there. Cool. Now, me personally, I'm not liking the chords, but I think that was a good example to kind of show you that that's a possibility. I'm going to come in here. Since we changed a little bit on this, I'm going to do this. Just feel like it's a little bit deeper, right? Another way that we can go about combating this too is if we go into our Gojira X. If you have Gojira X, they have a an octave pedal. This is like my little cheat code here. So if I click here and we take a listen. Now it's still on. And if we only want to turn it on the chorus, then there's a way to do that. If you hit A on your keyboard. Now, okay, there's one important thing that you need to know. If you're doing this all in the same session, and yesterday we had our keyboard icon on, you could see when I hit A, automation isn't turning on. And so if I turn this off and I hit A, automation turns back on. So just so you know, that was a big thing of mine. Yo, Andre. And we have Alex. What's going on? Feel your streams are anti-paranoia. Oh, you're not feeling good, man. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. Well, thank you for still coming by and hanging out, dude. Now, great. Okay, cool. Sick. Very good. Very good. Definitely looking into Odin. Dude, Odin is the sickest. Yo, what's going on, Strigic? How we feeling, man? Thanks for stopping by again, homie. Welcome back. Is there a Twitch stream going as well? There is, dude. So I usually have the Twitch chat going, but I'm kind of in the zone of teaching the new homies who are new to Ableton how to use this. And so I feel like the more real estate, the better, just so you can kind of see this. But I am over on Twitch. My Twitch should be in the description. Sorry, I don't know why I blanked. But okay, we want to turn off our octave pedal, or turn it on for that part and then turn it off for the other parts. So the way that we go about doing this, now this is kind of, it's not really an advanced sort of topic, but I think that you really have to kind of do it in these steps. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to come down to our archetype little plugin instrument here, and we need to click this arrow. And this brings up this little guy here, and it says to add plugin parameters to this panel, click the configuration button. So if we hit this configuration button, it's going to bring our plugin open. And all we need to do is we need to click on what we want to automate, right? And so you see down here, it turned this guy green, and it says Oct Active. And so that's what we want to automate. So now that we have that, if we close this and hit A, and we go to our Odin, you can see it says Archetype Gojira, and I just got there from here, Oct Active. And so all we need to do is we need to highlight our chorus where we want it, and then we hold Shift, and sometimes this doesn't work, and then we just need to basically slide this all the way up until it says on. I usually go 100%. And so now you're going to be able to hear it's not on, right? So that's how you basically engage and disengage pedals. A little quickie there. I'm going to turn down that input. You see how we have a little red guy there? I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Okay, so now that we're done with that little automation, we just hit A to bring ourselves back here. So that's not bad. It's not a bad little chorus. If you want to elaborate more on yours, and maybe you have something cooler than mine, which is totally cool, you know what I mean? I hope it is cooler than mine. Cool. So, yo, Maple, what's going on? Andre, he switched over from the YouTube over to the Twitch. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Welcome, homies. Appreciate yous. Appreciate you guys. Okay. I want to add a cool little like a lead guitar type of thing, but I'm not a lead guy, and so it's not going to be a solo, I promise. So what we need to do is we need to add another Odin. O-D-I-N. All results. Odin. Didn't find this. Oh, okay. My bad. Maybe I forgot to put it in there. Let me put that in here. Bam. So if I'm live, I would recommend checking me out on Twitch. There's a lot more interaction going on there. But if you're watching the VOD, like after the stream, then it really helps me out if you watch it on YouTube. And it's in 4K. So you're able to see a lot more. And yeah. Okay, so I want to add, we have Odin here. I want to add another Gojira. So I'm going to come up here and type in Gojira. All results, again, you make sure you're there so you can have these sorts of search here. And I'm going to click and drag and put that in there. We have a Gojira here. Now, let's see. One of my favorite sounds, I'm giving away all my tricks here. Connor Orchestral. This one is really sick. However, I bring down the mix and the decay a little bit of the reverb. And then I actually use, I believe I use a different amp because this is a clean amp. I actually go to this amp and then I bring my gain pretty far down and then I come into the EQ and bring these out because I don't really need a lot of low end on this little lead part. Okay. Oh, another thing. Let me make sure that I actually brought it down a pretty good amount. Yeah. Okay. You know, another thing that we could possibly do, we could possibly turn this off. However, what does Gojira have? Doesn't have any delay before it, which is fine. Because what we can possibly do, because let's say that you only have Gojira. Let's put a delay on here. I'm going to bring this down. Now, if you right click here and do equal loudness, this is really nice because, well, your delays are equal loudness, right? We're going to do a ping pong. Now we need to turn this down and then I'm going to let you hear what it sounds like here. Where's our chorus at? I think it's up to here, huh? Because yeah, for some reason I got rid of my little verse indicator. Maybe I didn't add it. Verse 2. Okay. Odin 2 here. Make sure I have everything. Oh, in Odin 2, I need to turn on panned leads essential. Cool thing is like this isn't fully panned, like you know. You'll hear it. Oh, by the way, thanks for the tip on the Waves G Master bus comp. Tested it today on some old stuff and had it do an actual double. Yes, dude, it's so good, man. And what another thing that I would experiment with is, you know, where you put it in your chain. You know, because before I used to have my SSL after my multiband, but I did SSL comp and then multiband, and it's like, ooh, okay, let's go. Okay, so now we should hear some stuff. Sweet. But if you can hear, without our delay, it's in the center. And if you remember, there's one thing that we have to do. We go into Gojira, we need to go into stereo, and turn stereo on. So it sounds like we need to turn our feedback down on our delay and our tape mod down a little bit. And then I think we're good on that front now. Okay, let's hear. But with our delay before the amp, it's one of my favorite sounds. It's one of my favorite sounds. So let's mess around, and we're going to go in. Should we do eighth notes? I'm doing this, by the way. I'm like trying to like pick it here and just see what it feels like and sounds like. So maybe we can do, let's do 16th notes. And I'll bring it down a little bit just so it's not super annoying. So I'm going to put on 1 and I'm going to do Control D. You can also hear that our feedback is way too long. So I'm hearing our feedback, but we also need to change our sync to 2. Let's try 2. Okay, let's keep experimenting. I know. So one thing that we can do, I forgot about this, reverb gives us a lot more of a washed sound. I love that sound so much. However, there is some work that we need to do on the mixing front, but we won't worry about that too much. Sorry, it's so annoying. I'm going to turn this off for now. And sometimes keeping it as simple as this is fine. Let's do, actually, you know what I should do is I'm going to grab this. Let's see if I can do Control-Shift-D. Okay, that's a new move. So I want to delete this and bring both of these over here. There's a cool little shortcut inside of Ableton Live. If you select all, at least to the bar you want to delete and remove here, and you do Control-Shift-Backspace or delete, then it gets rid of that and closes the gap. So sick, so sick. Hear that long tail? I want to get rid of that. So the best way that I know to get rid of that is actually just mute this whole section. I'm on mixer track volume. I hit A again, and I'm going to hold shift. I'm just going to bring that down. So now, and if we don't want it to be that drastic, all I would do is I would put some sort of like, I would put a dot here, and then I would remove this dot so it has like this kind of little ramp here. However, I want it to be a little bit steeper. So if I hold Alt, then I can add like a little roundness to it. You see that? So it's too drastic. So what I'll do is I'll grab this, maybe try that, let's see. Not bad, good enough. So let's get a little bit of a context check, and I realize that chat is hitting up the homie right now. Recording home guitar is actually making me hate playing guitar. I'm saying, bro, like we shouldn't have to do that right now in our writing phase, you know. I'm just a hobbyist, and the amount of time it takes to have to in a sub cover good returning is just not realistic or fun. But VST feel like is a deal with the devil. Yeah, see, that's only your perception, you know. And it's only if you think that, you know, writing like this is cheating. But technically, is it cheating? No, because you have to think about the people who write in Guitar Pro, and there's a lot. Well, there used to be a lot more people than you think writing their music inside of Guitar Pro. But instead of it sounding like this, it sounded like chip tunes or like something from Nintendo. You know what I mean? This way, it serves two benefits. One, everything is live. And so you can easily move notes, change chords, change tempo, all that stuff right there. There's actually three good things. Two, it takes you out of your common chords that you know, right? And three, it helps you get better at mixing, because at the end of this, well, unless you're me, you're going to want to mix this to see how it sounds like complete and full and mixed and mastered, blah, 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 right? And so you're able to use these to practice mixing, like, you know? And then being able to change the key, like, dude. Like, let's say, you know, I just bought an 8-string guitar and now I can go to, you know, double drop E or whatever it is, right? Well, I want to hear what it sounds like before I have to re-record all those freaking guitars. You can do that with MIDI because it's already there, like this whole section, you know? You know, like done. You know? So, one thing to think about. You know what? There's another thing, dude. Strigic, if you're just a hobbyist, this should be something that I would recommend even more. Because, you know, rather than sitting there and trying to learn these complicated parts, even though you really want to try to make complicated music like this, complicated music, right? This totally, like, makes that bridge a lot smaller. You know, and you can just, again, experiment with notes and not having to worry about your skill in guitar, right? Because you don't have the time to get better at guitar, but you want to write cooler songs, right? This is the perfect way, because then you're going to be listening to these things so much that you're going to, you know, memorize how the parts sound, the timing, blah, blah, blah. So then you grab your guitar and you learn the actual chords or whatever it is that you're doing. You already know the timing. So you're going to be using this to, like, get better at guitar. That's what I'm doing with these songs that I'm making now. Is like, at the end of the night, I'm plugging into my guitar and playing these songs, following along, you know? And it's getting my double picking better, you know, especially for stuff like this. And another thing, I wouldn't have done this on real guitar because it's not one of my usual chord shapes, you know. But yeah. Let's see. I love that. I've just finished part 1 and now I'm here for part 2. Really instructive content. Thank you, my guy. Thank you, my guy. I appreciate you, man, for stopping by, and I'm really glad that it's helping. I really want to help out the people who, you know, again, are new and maybe making a switch from Ableton or to Ableton. I'm sorry. You know, I think that Ableton is such a sick writing DAW, you know, and a mixing DAW. I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, appreciate you again, Joris. And oppressor. Is it a tremolo? No, honestly, it's just the same note, and I'm just like duplicating it. So without any of the effects, well, there's not many effects on here. And the cool thing about Odin is it defaults to alternate picking. So if you come here and you look, key switch, alt picking. And I feel like it gets the job done. Would you advise Odin or Hydra or third pick for your first VST guitar plugin? So it really depends, man. Do you want to make clean stuff as well? Because if you do clean, if you want to do more clean stuff, like for me, I have both Hydra and Odin. I use Odin for this sort of music here. But if I want to add a clean element, I'll use Hydra. The only reason why is with Odin, I feel like the cleans aren't as clean. I'll show you here. Odin 2. And then we'll go to, let's do guitar 1 for now. It's right in the middle. And then we'll grab some sort of clean tone as soon as this loads. Oops. Gojira X has really good cleans. Like, woof. Okay. Oh, we need to turn off raw mode. Advanced, raw mode. There's also a cranked. We can turn that off to see if that helps. Cranked is like, you know, a deeper pick. Just like a harder pick, I'm sorry. Okay, let's do, what's one that I know that sounds really good right off the bat. I think it is Fracture Clean. I believe this is the one. So let's actually do something like over here, maybe. And I will deactivate that for now. Bring this down. Sorry about that it was so loud. Let's actually do something like just like a little simple pick thing. Let's go 8th notes. You hear how the picking is still really hard? Let's go back to Odin here. See if there's anything that we can do to bring that down. Nope. So if we go any lower than this, excuse me, then we're in our palm mute. That's not bad. It still just doesn't sound as clean, you know, in my opinion. You know, I can kind of show you really fast. I know we're kind of on a tangent here, but I feel like this is kind of a good, for the people who are new again, you know, and they're deciding on a guitar plugin. Hydra. We got to let this load. It's going to take a second. So just give it a second. Give it a second. Yeah, Gojira is so good, dude. It's so freaking good. I have Cubase now, and honestly, I find it not intuitive. It's so I used it for like 6 months, I think, and I was having a hard time with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just ended up going back to Ableton. I've tried so many DAWs, and I keep coming back to Ableton because Ableton is just so good. So I feel you. I feel you, Joris. Brady. Dude, just want to compliment you and say you nailed the Deftones video. Did a great job playing those weird dissonant chords Steph would play. Dude, thank you so much, man. I love that band so much. You know, here, let me show you. I love Deftones. Deftones is like, they're my bread and butter next to Linkin Park, you know? And so, and my homie is actually the guitarist, the touring guitarist in the Deftones. And talk about a guy that has Steph's finger tone. It's insane. If you want to know who I'm talking about, his name is Lance Jackman. He plays in his old band. His band is called 847, all one word. One of my favorite bands. So good. If you like that, like Sacramento sound, but like modern and electronic, 847 is it. It's it. Thank you, man. Yeah, I got that when I was like 16 or 17, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so I have a preset that my homie made. Okay, so then we'll do that. And then I want to add my little Hydra preset here. And then we'll add that same Gojira X, and we'll add that same tone to it. Fractured clean, right? This one I definitely have to bring down because it's a lot louder. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm going to make a new lane. So when I bring this down, the other cool thing is like, this is one of my favorite parts. I'll show you. Did you hear the strum? For cleans, it's disgusting. The other thing is you can go, even further and start really messing with the dynamics of these chords. Oops. Let's do this. Oops. That's actually okay. We can do that for now. And the way that I'm doing that is I'm holding shift and using the left and right arrow, just so you know. It's really good. It's so good. That's why I love Hydra for cleans. Now, again, for the thick stuff, I prefer Odin because I feel like for the thick parts, like especially stuff like I just feel like it sounds a lot fuller. Let's get a context check. Actually, it's been a little bit. Thank you, Stridget. So we're getting close. So one thing that we can do is grab this again. This is our chorus. Bam. And we're just filling in the blanks because we already kind of did that that back end initial arrangement work, right? And so you could see now we're at the point to where, we can make an outro here, or we can do, another chorus one more time. And then our song is technically done. Now, the song isn't done. However, your arrangement is done. The next thing that you need to do is you need to basically you need to fine tune these things, because again, with these being like just duplicated things of the same thing, what you'll need to do, and this is kind of a little tedious and, you know, but it's worth it, is going in and just adding differentiations of just different things, right? To make each part sound different, like little accents. Like, for example, I was hearing in this verse here, I think it is. Like here, we'll add a little crash here. And then we can do, instead of this, we'll do like maybe hats. And then maybe this part we can do. Right here we'll do like another. This would be cool to do maybe something like boom. We'll do a right there. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to follow this kick here. Boom, 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 boom. And then we'll go back to our hats here, basically. This would be cool to maybe do like a little late snare sort of thing. Just gotta find the spot now. I'm gonna turn this off so we don't get confused. Dun, dun, dun. That actually might work. So we just need to see. Ah, okay. Again, just coming in, adding accents, listening to it, just like boom, boom, boom. We could do something like this. And so again, the key is just to do that throughout the whole song. And again, it's a 3-minute song, so it's not going to be that difficult, and it really depends on how technical you want to get or how many accents you want to do. But if you have 2 parts, like this chorus is 2 parts, and this is the same drum part, you know, and so maybe, you know, you can do something like adding a fill here. And so what I'm going to do is, this is actually something that I usually do, and I'll do this live on stream, because if you've been here and you've been hanging out with me, then you see that this is something that I'll do. So if you're listening and you're just taking a step back to listen to what the arrangement sounds like, but you know that there's changes to be made, but you want to continue on listening to the context of the song, you'll see what I do. I'm going to turn this on up here. This basically just scrolls, you know, the session. Okay, so I'm going to immediately do this because I think that this should go here on this intro here. But I'm going to delete everything here, go one space, put this here. Then we're going to do something like this to quickly see what this sounds like. Sweet. Okay, so you see here, red means an error. There's an error. Or something needs to be attended to. This is something that I just started doing, and it helps so much. Think of these little red marks as like your little checklist things that you need to get done or you need to check off for the song to feel better, or things that took you out of the immersion. You'll put these little things here. And honestly, I should probably make this casino blips like a different color, because then we're going to get kind of confused here. Not that color. Why did I choose that color, dude? Okay. Assign track color. Okay, cool. So you could see here we have some things here. And you can see that these ones at the end are more than likely just going to be fills. You know what I mean? This one is, I want to change out this whole part. Like, not really the part, but like there's like a symbol or something that needs to be fixed here. You can see, though, we need a lot of fills. We need like some fill stuff. So I'm going to quickly show you my quick little 101 of fill making, which I just recently discovered, and it is kind of mind-blowing. So you can see here, we need to fill in this many bars of 16th notes, right? And so if we listen back, right? So we need something that's going to fill this whole thing. And so we'll come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 8 notes. We need some sort of fill thing here, right? So let's do, I don't know, 2 snares. We'll do a kick. We'll do a tom hit there. And then maybe here we'll do okay, so we need to do, since it's starting off with this kick here, we need to start off with a snare hit. And usually what I like to do is I'll do some sort of like and it sounds like we need to bring our toms up, so I'll bring these up. Sweet, so that's done. And again, you can see it was as easy as just placing however many notes you need, moving these around, and then just keep replaying it until it sounds cool enough, you know, to where you think it sounds cool. I want to bring these up to 106. I'm gonna do right here. I made this red because I wanted to fill right here. And we can do... So I feel like, and I don't know if you heard it, but I heard it go dun dun dun, dun dun dun, dun dun dun. I want that. So that's this part here. And then it goes onto this next section. There's a cymbal hit there. So you can see me doing this, right? And it would probably be this if you're right-handed, right? And so it's going to be right, left, right. So we need to do right hit, right, left. We could do this one here. And then we need to get rid of this. So I'm gonna go wait, so that's what I hear. Now what those drums are gonna be, I hear in my head, but that's the kind of pattern that I want. Bum 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 bum. So we already know that we need to go da da da. Okay, so that's our pattern there. So I want to do something like we'll do like a again. I'm going to turn this off just so you can kind of get what I'm saying. Da, 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 right? And so maybe I didn't count it right, and maybe this is what I was really hearing. So we can see, and if it's not doing that thing, that's what I want it to do, and so we just need to kind of like figure that out. I want this to be a double kick into this, like this. Mm-hmm. 5, 6. We can even go something like this. So you can see here what I'm doing. I'm just going off of these little checklists. Like these are done. So now what I can do is I can like just grab this, select both of them, and hit Control J to consolidate them. And I'm just basically putting it back into that MIDI section. Because now, you know, we're done. That's our checklist. Now we have these to worry about, this whole section to worry about. We got to get these done. You know what I mean? And so it's just a process of elimination, you know? You're literally just eliminating these red lines, going back, listening again, making more red lines. Keep going, you know? And so that's basically what it is, you know? And you can do that as many times as you want, but you know, you don't have to go crazy. Maybe limit yourself to 3 passes or something, you know. Then export it and listen in your car, because then you're not going to have access to your DAW or be able to click things. That's my biggest thing, is like take it out of the computer and put it somewhere so you can listen to it without having access to, you know, tweaking it. Because then you're going to get pumped to be like, oh yeah, I want to fix that. And then it's going to be sick, you know. And you come back in and do that, and it's going to be even cooler. And so, I mean, what else can I show you here? You know, there's the rest of it comes down to just fine detailed work. You know, I feel like this was a good primer for the people who are just getting started in Ableton, or, you know, wanting a little bit of some ideas on songwriting and getting into structures and stuff like that. Like, I think the biggest thing is like, this is just one way to structure. What I would recommend that you do is listen to one of your favorite bands and start to structure out what their song is. Like, get a piece of paper out or something, or at least, you know, maybe the text app on your phone, and just listen and be like, okay, they did intro twice. Or wow, this is a long intro. This is like 4 bars intro. And then they go right into a chorus. Only once though, you know, chorus 1. Then they're like, okay, verse 2, okay. Oh, they went straight into a chorus right there. Okay, chorus 1, you know. Then take that structure and pre-map it into Ableton. Then start going vertical on your parts. Don't worry about structure yet. Just start building out cool sounds and cool combinations. Then start being like, oh, this could be cool. This little synth could be cool in like the verse. Oh, this might be a bridge synth. You know what I mean? And so this is basically it, really. This is what I do all the time on my stream, except for I don't explain it in this sort of depth, this detailed, you know. Um, it's really fun though, you know. It's a really kind of, it's kind of dummy proof, you know, and not even dummy proof, but like, you're not getting stuck, because there's always things to reach for and stuff like that. And so chances are you're not finishing the song because it's not turning out the way you want it. And sometimes you've gone too far to where you're feeling uninspired. Sometimes that happens to me, and that's happened to me a few times on stream. And there's few ways that I go about combating that. One of those ways is literally coming over here into a blank section and just trying something else. Because chances are maybe it'll connect to this, you know. Another thing is to just file save, start a new session, you know. That's okay. But make sure you save this, because then you come back and be like, okay, this wasn't as lame as I thought. You know? I saw some questions in here. I also see the homies talking. The homies be chatting. It's very good. Appreciate you guys helping each other out and stuff. Omnisphere is so expensive. Dude, I know it is, but I love it so much. What GGD library am I using? This is the P5 kit, and I have nothing on it. I have one thing on my drum bus, I think, and it's the SSL bus comp. But this kit, I don't even have anything on my, I don't even have a preset going, I don't think. Oh, I do. Wildfire Full Turbo. In terms of the pads that we use, this pad here, these are all Ableton instruments. And if you watch the first video, I make all of these sounds. I make everything that you're hearing here. I make that in the video before this. But I can show you what they sound like. So this is Casino Blips. Everything you could see here, like this is what it's called, Casino Blips pad. And if I go to all results and I type in Casino Blips, here it is. This one is Awakening pad. Really nice pad. This is with Casino Blips. And then there is, let me see, what else did we use here? Crunch Arcade, this is a cool sound. This is our intro sound here. And I just added Casino Blips, which is this sound. Wait, where's it at? How come it's not there? Did I mess it up somehow? Oh, I might have. No, I did something. I did something. Unless I'm not. Oh, I don't think I'm soloing the correct thing here. Yeah, right here. And so combined, and you can hear it got louder because I automated it. And if you want to see how to automate, it's in my video before, and I do a little bit on this video as well. And then the last thing we have is this Metropolis Bells. And again, these are all, if you have Ableton Live Suite, Metropolis Bells. So that's this sound here. Again, these are all Ableton instruments. All Ableton instruments. What can we use instead of Ableton plugins for pads and synths? So my go-tos, and Vital is very good. Vital is very good. But my go-tos are like Serum. You know what? I'm going to open up a session that I kind of just recently did. It might take a second to open. But let's do... We're going to do Vega. So Strigic, I love this. I love this right here. I'm going to say this out loud. I think what I take away most from these two streams is 1, do not overthink. 2, less is more. And 3, build on multiple simple patterns. And last but not least, number 4, go horizontal. Those are all great key points, dude. I think the biggest thing is to actually do the thing. Don't just watch my video and be like, that was cool. You know what I mean? Like, use this as inspiration to do the thing. Give it a shot. Don't be afraid that it's going to suck, because it might suck because it's your first time trying this method. But the only reason why I think that it could suck is because you didn't dive in and fix the problems that you didn't like about that idea. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I had that same issue as well. I didn't let the song guide me, however, me make these tweaks along the way, right? Because I can't tell you how many times. I mean, I have so many songs that are just chilling there because I didn't, you know, take it as far as it should have went, you know? So this here is a session that I did on stream. This is kind of like my anime song here. I call it just because it has a lot of cool animate elements. And this one I used samples, and so this is what the samples sound like. Very good. I have some additional stuff like some little vocal effects. Let's see if it's ready to go, and I'll play it for you. So this is one I just recently did, but you can see I'm still using the same methods. I'm using the same methods here. I'm putting the little red marks here because these things I want to kind of either add a fill or whatever, right? And so the same thing applies. So exactly how I showed you that last song is what I did here. Only I used, different elements, some different synths, and these are things that you can accumulate over time. You don't have to buy these all at once. You know, like the Prince I love. I love Serum. Serum is really great. The best bang for your buck, I feel like. I do use Omnisphere. However, I didn't buy it all at once. I have a Sweetwater card, so I was able to get a good deal on this, you know. But Omnisphere is, it has so many sounds. Another thing that I'll use is Cthulhu. This is like a smart arpeggiator, or like a really um, customizable arpeggio, you know. A lot of sample stuff, you know. So it's not anything too crazy again. Now my mixing is where, you know, is the reason why it sounds the way it does, but these are all, you know, like bot plugins. And so when you start to accumulate things, you know, you'll be able to just make your mixes sound better and better and better. And I have constantly, and if you've been hanging out with me for a while, you know that I've been trying to get a stock mixed session going, but I don't know, I'm very picky these days in terms of what I think sounds good and stuff like that. And so, you know, that's kind of why it's so hard for me these days. But I won't give up. I'm going to try again. We're going to try and do some sort of stock template, you know, because I think my homie Josh wants one for his songwriting. So, but yeah, dudes, I really hope that this helped you, and it kind of unlocks some things for you, and you learn some stuff if you're just getting into Ableton, and again, knowing the potential of what Ableton can get you, which is really sky's the limit, you know. And I plan on doing this again at some point, but I think that again, this was a good primer. And if you think that there was something that I didn't cover, or I should cover, I should go more in depth, I have a feeling people are going to say mixing, then, you know, I can go that way too. Again, if you wanted to check out my Patreon, I have some cool stuff in there, along with some presets, and I have some routing templates for P4, P5, One Kit Wonder Architects, P4, Metal, and Aggressive Rock, all from Get Good Drums. Now they are all labeled, kind of like this is here. So you can see all my labels. This is such a helpful, this is such a helpful tool. You can see everything is labeled here. So just so you know, those are available on the Patreon. Again, as well as some Serum presets, and then some multi-tracks that I've done. And I plan on adding the Linkin Park one, I promise. I haven't forgot about that, but I've just been so busy. But again, thank you guys. I appreciate you. I may hang out on Twitch for a little bit longer. And so if you wanted to hang out over there right now, then just head over to my Twitch. It's just Crispidan_. Crispidan_. But yeah, we'll see you guys soon, YouTube. Thank you again. Appreciate you. Until the next video, which will probably be tomorrow, but we'll be doing something a little bit different. Thank you guys again. Have a good night. Have a good day.